Hello, welcome back to Space Engineers. In today's video, we're looking at another gigantic monstrosity that transforms into different things. So this thing that I'm currently standing on is called the XMA-01 Rafflesia V2, which is this glorious thing all the way over here. So this is a gigantic ship that features multiple moving parts. It's got custom missiles far out little doorways that you can just about make out over here on each of the individual arms. Then we've got a bajillion railguns in the very middle of this thing, which I was originally thinking was maybe something very decorative, maybe a bunch of neon tubes, maybe some blast edge blocks, steel blocks just put all decoratively together. But no, look at this. It's just a bunch of railguns all set up for the salvo script, so you just fire on a continuous bombardment beam towards your enemies. We also got a bunch of cameras all the way around this thing to help actually fire all the custom missiles. We'll see that a bit later on. But for now, I'm going to move the camera away, like so, grab hold of my character and actually show you it transforming, because it is very impressive. Just in case you are interested, it is actually quite light on performance, surprisingly, for this type of design. But no, what I want to do is fly around towards the very back of this thing, come over this little pillar right here. So on one of these sides where the ion thrusters are sitting, it's going to be a little sneaky doorway. There it is. It's right behind that large ion thruster. We come all the way through, and then we're going to be greeted by this bit, which is going to be our very odd interior. Not too much is actually going on inside here, it's just a massive gobbledygook of all different stuff. Yes, looking like so, we see all of our custom weapon controllers, we see all of our programmable blocks, we see our seat to actually control it, time blocks and all that. So we want to come all the way up to this section, poke our way through into the cockpit, and here we are to drive it around. Now what I'm going to do is put the camera like so, I'm now going to press number 9. What's going to happen is each of the individual arms are now going to fold all the way backwards, and there we go, we're now ready to safely fire our missiles at your enemies, and they will do quite a lot of stuff. But like I said, I'm going to do that at the end of the video, so it is going to lag the video out quite a lot. I'm quite afraid of it actually desyncing everything, which would be a pain in the ass to actually edit. No, press number 9 again. There we go, with the free camera, moving it around, on the side. And here we go one more time. It just falls all the way back, very nice, very neat, pressing it again. And there we go, looking at it from behind. They have all the ion thrusters just glowing out the back there. And it just falls all the way backwards. And all the way forwards. I suppose what I can do is now take over the railgun. There we go, now firing it from this angle, like so. 3, 2, 1. And there we go. It is just a rapid gatling gun of railguns to annihilate your enemies. Looking like so. And there we are. In fact, I'll make a fantastic thumbnail for this video. No, there we are. They're now completely out. They've got to recharge. And all we've got to do now is, well, fire some fireworks. Not going to do the missiles like I said, but here we go. Go across to this. Activate that. And now what we're going to do is put on a little light show for your enemies. There we go. We just fire out quite a lot of fireworks. There's a hell of a lot being fired out there. And there we are. Nice pretty show. Put on for your enemies or allies. Anyway, yes, enough of me messing around there. Press number 9. There we go. Grabbing hold. Oh, don't want to do that. Grabbing hold of this. Hopping out of that. Outside I go. Character could just, yeah, he just go and hover there for now. Run towards the very front. There we are. Pressing F10. Find this in the spawn menu. The Rafflesia is 9,061 large blocks using a couple of the DLC packs. We've got no information whatsoever, so simply give this a thumbs up, run towards the very front, have a brief look around the outside, go around the weird interior, fly around for a bit, and then I suppose I'll find some space pirates and actually test out the missiles so you can see how they all fire and lock onto it. It is the usual custom missile setup where you can make it follow the camera, beam right, or just go and target whatever enemy are nearby, or whatever the turrets are trying to target. So there's that. Yes, for the very front, we're going to zoom all the way into here at the massive mess of all the railguns and cameras. And well, this is what we get for the very center of the Rafflesia V2. Put on my light. There we go. So yes, we've got one hell of a lot of railguns all strapped together with a camera in the middle so you can precisely aim them. Zooming away, we then got 4 more cameras and a bunch of red steel blocks with some green neon tubes just around each of the sides. Zooming further away, we've got even more cameras and it starts from grey steel blocks and a concrete skin. Eventually moves across some more red steel blocks with some doorways that'll be for our missiles. Coming across to this one all the way through. So here we go, these will open up automatically and reveal to us our custom missile. We of course got a projector and building system so you can keep building this up and fire things out. But here is the custom missile, camera on the front, programmable block, batteries, antenna, and then towards the very back there, there's some ion thrusters to actually boost it forwards. Across to there's prototype gyroscope, over here to projector to actually project the missile. And that's it, the missile chamber. Take a little look up there, another gyroscope, into here, there's your rotor to actually attach onto the missile. pulling away from this, turning off my lights. I suppose what I will do is come across to this section right here, so a bit closer around the main body. Here's our fireworks launcher that we just saw, another doorway for another missile. Coming all the way around the middle, some more fireworks, more doors, more cameras, and I believe that is it for the middle section. So zooming away, cross over to this one, we only have to look at one of these arms because they're all the same. Then we'll go around to the back of this thing. Yes, across to here, there's our doorway. Over to here, here's your turret, which is going to be used to fire out the missiles on their custom guarding system, or just use as a generic turret. Put on my light, turning around, there we go. Then we come across to this section right here. So what this is a custom gun, but unfortunately it does not work. This is supposed to be a pop-up gun that will just fold up and start blasting enemies, much like an assault cannon would. But no, the mod was not listed on the Steam Workshop, and I could not find it in my mod menu, or at least find something suitable to replace it, so for now, it's just a fancy decoration. Anyway, on the very side of this thing, all the way across, and there got some iron thrusters, around towards the very back here because of the spotlights with some windows in front of it. Across here, strip of yellow, at the very back, another little light, then here we are at the end of our red steel blocks. Move around towards the very back of this thing, there we are at the very back of all of that, so we've got our black, grey steel blocks, red steel blocks, more iron thrusters, round to here, looking all the way up, a bunch more iron thrusters. Then across over this section, you guessed it, even more iron thrusters, on the side of the arm, there we go, towards the main body. In fact, we'll go look at it on the side before we actually go to the main body. And there we are, all the way around, with all of our iron thrusters, apart from that one section that has the grey doorway to get inside. There it is. Now we're going to come all the way up on this part. There we are with the yellow strip in the middle, towards the very back. There are more iron thrusters. Then there's an antenna right at the very back, acting as a small little tail. Looking as a whole, there we are, I'll bring the sunlight back around. There we are, that'll do quite nicely. That's what it looks like in all of its glory, with all the iron thrusters, all the little dots of yellow, red, black, and grey. Then looking on the side. There we go. Then back around towards the very front once again. First what I'll do is turn off my light, move the sunlight just a little bit away. There we are, and that's what it looks like with the sun hidden, so we can actually see the glow of all the interior lights around this thing, giving that nice red glow, red ominous glow, that well, looks like something straight out of Elite Dangerous. And with the sunlight background once again, that'll do quite nicely, get a bit of shadows on there. And with that, that's a brief look around the outside of the XMA-01 Rafflesia V2. It looks bloody fantastic, how it's been set up, absolute glorious design, and I just highly recommend downloading it, checking out yourself, because there's a lot of detail being put into this thing, especially for a large block grid. It's very impressive that it's been done like this. But now what I've got to do now is grab hold of my character, it's now time to have a proper look at the interior before flying around and actually testing out all the missiles. So flying all the way up to here, finding that doorway once again, all the way around, there it is right there, turning off my light, coming all the way down. Be very careful of that when it's actually flying around because you might get burnt while trying to get into this thing. And here we are for the inside. So there is no gravity generator inside here, so you're just going to be floating around. So what I am going to do very quickly, just find a gravity generator. There we go, just plopping that down. Makes it a bit easier to wander around inside here. But what I want to do is now come all the way up that doorway once again. I come right here. So my light on once again. Now I'm going to look up, there's a doorway to get in and out. There we are. And this is what we get for the very top of the floor. We've got ourselves a compact beacon. We've got a time block right there. Looking around to this side, we've then got some programmable blocks. We've got a radar script. Over here, what's inside this one? We see we've got a custom missile script. Looking down the bottom there are some more time blocks. Dropping down a little bit. Oop, too far there. Want to come back up a little bit. There we go onto this floor. So we've got another programmable block. Looking to this one, we've got a subgrid thrusters. Around here, more time blocks. Into here, custom weapon controller. Over to this side, more time blocks. Moving down slightly more. Here's your main one to actually drive around with your cockpit. Look across here, custom weapon controller, custom weapon controller. Moving further down, bit awkward to actually navigate this section, so do excuse this. Onto this floor, we then got a rotor that goes all the way up to another programmable block which has our radar script on there. Then pulling away from here, looking around, more programmable blocks, lots and lots of programmable blocks in this thing. There we go, we now got our artificial horizon. Into this one, we then got simple LCD screens, so I think that's the simple LCD screens. But yes, across to this one, into this one, got our graphs. Over onto this one, we then got our subgrid gyro manager. Coming all the way down even further, bottom floor now. Here we are, so time block in the middle, auto door and airlock. Over to this one, then got our salvo script. Into this one, got our missile status. And then over to this one, the final programmable block, we then got the power controls program. And with that, that's it for the interior, all it has to offer. So what I am going to do now is just very carefully, remove this. There we go. Remove that, just in case it does mess with the missiles. Move up the floor. And get into the cockpit. So in the cockpit, oh, that's a ladder. Not sure why I grabbed hold of that. Yes, into the cockpit, this is what we see in the first-person view, so we do actually have stuff to actually look at, instead of looking outside. So over there we see our integrity script, down to there we see our missiles, over there is our power graphs, then down to there we've got our power status, which we just about make out. In the middle, radar script, down to there is your little artificial horizon, then at the very bottom is stuff for custom missiles, where we can change what's going to be targeting. So as you can see, we can start on camera, which will make the missiles go towards whatever the camera is looking at. If we move across the turret, whatever the turret's locked onto, the missile will then travel across to. And then finally, beam ride is going to be a manual control, almost like a wire-guided system. So when the missiles fire, you can then move with the camera, and the missiles will move with you. 4 is then going to be to actually fire the missiles. Number 6 and number 7 is for some other controls, such as auto-fire. So we can press that, now update on the screen, auto-fire enabled, auto-fire disabled. And then number 6 can be for the top-down mode, which I'm not too sure what it means. I presume they're going to fire out, move all the way up, go super high, then come all the way down, like an airburst mode, but not too sure, because I have not tested that mode out. Anyway, number 9 is for your transformation, so back into this view, pressing number 9, and there we go. Pressing it again, and it goes back to how it was. So with that, that's how you're going to reveal the turrets inside here to actually guide the missiles around. So there we go, all the turrets now facing forwards, so now you can properly lock onto a target, fire out the missiles, and have them go towards where the turrets are locked onto. Guess putting it back into this, we now fly around properly, now all our iron thrusters are facing the correct direction, and we'll get some good speed. On to tab number 2, we then got lights on and off, so pressing 1, pressing 2, can't really see that, so we're going to have to move the sunlight back to about there, we'll do quite nicely. Pressing number 1, there we go, all the glow disappears, pressing 1 again, and there's that red ominous glow. Number 2 is then for your fireworks launcher, there we go, absolute glorious to watch. 3 is then for your assault cannon turrets, number 4 is for your custom guns, to AI on and off, number 7 is then for your welders to turn them on and off with the custom missiles, and then number 9 is for your jump drive, your prototype jump drive, which allows us to jump 3,147.71 kilometers, which is bloody good stuff. Then on to tab number 3, we've got all the cameras all around this thing, so lots and lots of different views, there we go. Then on to number 4, nothing else, so now it's time to drive this thing around. So reselecting that, moving forwards, here we go, this is what we get, and for such a large, complicated structure, it's surprisingly fast. It does take a fair bit of time to get to 100 meters per second, but it's certainly not the slowest ship I've ever showcased on this channel. But letting go of that, there we go, we are a little bit slower, but it will take some time to come to a stop. We do not really have gyroscope controls to do 180, it's quite wobbly, quite wibbly, and does have a fair bit of problems, but there we go, that will stop a little bit quicker, but it is a bit risky to do with all the moving parts on this. Anyway, pressing number 9, we're now going to do that one more time. Moving forwards, nice lot of speed with that, look at all that speed, come to a stop. It is a hell of a lot slower, but again, we can turn this thing around. It is a little bit safer in this mode, doesn't want to wibble around, doesn't want to damage other blocks, so do be very careful with that. So now I'm going to press number 9, just to try and prevent any more damage. Now let's come to a stop, moving left, moving right, moving down, moving up, got some very slow speed with that, but that's to be expected from this type of ship. And then of course, gyroscope controls, first person view with the camera, here we go, all the way around, and that's what we get. Moving forwards and letting go of the mouse. Gonna do that one more time. 1, 2, 3, letting go. And that's how much it follows through. So yes, this thing is bloody heavy, quite hard to control. Will be quite hard to actually aim the railguns to actually fire precisely onto your targets. Actually find this thing around. It does feel quite wobbly, quite wibbly, very juddery. So there is that. So moving around with the gyroscopes is quite difficult, quite dangerous. So do be very careful when doing that. But with that, that's it for the controls, that's it for how it flies, its looks inside and out. So now it's time for me to find some space pirates and actually demonstrate these missiles, so you can get a gander at what's going on with them. Here we go, here's some space pirates, minding their own business, sitting on an asteroid. Now it's time for me to blast them with all the missiles. So come out the camera view, looking all the way down to here. Now what I'm going to do is actually make it go and target by a beam ride. So across to here, there we go. Now we're going to come back into the camera. I'm now going to press number 4 with the free camera, and there we can hear a sound block ticking away there as if it's counting down. Then after a short delay, they'll open up, then blast all the way out. And here we go, the missiles are now opening up, they're now flying all the way out. There's the lag spike that I was afraid of that's going to desync all the videos. They're firing out on a salvo pattern, looking around to here. Here goes all the missiles all the way across. We're going to follow this one as it flies all the way over to the space pirate base. So here we come, we can go right behind it. I can feel the lag spikes of more flying out of the ship. And all the way across. It's going to take a little bit of time to get across. Do excuse all the lag spikes here. There goes the missiles, or there goes the turrets even. Now I'm going to start shooting into it, but it's not going to matter. The debris just straight up hit into it. And there goes all the other missiles just flying straight towards it. We see the gatling guns are still firing, more missiles are coming in. And there we are with all the little lag spikes of the game, trying to keep up with everything going. The gatling guns are still going, it looks like we are still rapidly firing them all out. There we go. Now I'm going to press number 4 to actually stop them firing, and we're going to take a look at the damage dealt to this base. So all the rounds, and there we go, we actually did quite a lot of damage. They are still going towards where that camera is pointing, so that's why they're all just flying through that little gap, hitting into the asteroid, bouncing away into the distance. I do hope you stop firing. Please stop firing. It's around to here, on the side. And there we are, they did a nice lot of damage. Flying all the way across to here. Have they stopped firing? Yes, they have. Looking inside here, looking inside the chamber even. And there we go. We see them be welded up, or at least a projector, for them to be welded up and be ready to be fired out one more time. Yes, what I'm going to do now is grab hold of this. Here we go. We're now going to grab hold of the railguns into this. Oh, aiming up is quite hard to aim this thing. It really wants to flick around. But here we go. We're now going to start firing it. Could be a bit wibbly, bit wobbly. And there we go. We're going to absolutely bombard them with all the railguns. Might need to get a little bit closer to make this a bit better. So here we come across out of this view into third person view. There we are. In fact, we're going to stabilize it by doing this. Because if I remember correctly from flying this thing around, yes, it is a hell of a lot more stabler to actually aim the guns. So here we come. Now going to keep firing with the railguns. All the assault cannons are firing. Here we come all the way across. And there we are. We're doing one hell of a lot of damage to that structure. Flying past it. Into this view. And there we go. We did a hell of a lot of damage. Looks like it did clip one of the legs. Yes, the bottom middle has been destroyed by that asteroid because I was carelessly driving this thing around. Now I'm going to turn this thing around. Here we go. And now what we're going to do is come down to here. Go and select the turrets. There we go. We're now going to come across to wherever they have gone one more time. There they are. Locking onto them. I'm now going to start firing all the missiles. So hopefully this is going to work. The turrets might completely disable them before they even start the fire. And there is something flying away into this. I'm not too sure what that is. Let's go and get a better look at that. Oh, that's part of my leg. That's the bottom section of this ship just flying away the distance like it is a little tiny ship. And trying to aim back there is being very difficult to actually aim. I'll also fire through thrusters on that leg, which makes it very difficult to control now. There we go. I can now actually hear them firing. There they all go across into the distance. And that's about as far as I can zoom. Stopping them from firing. There we are. And there we are. They're now slamming straight into it. Look at all the missiles slowly go across towards them. And there we are with what this thing can do. So with that, that's pretty much even the ship. All it has to offer, what you can do with it, and all the glorious controls of this ship. So one final thing to do before I lose my voice is slam it into the asteroid and blow out that way. So come across to here, if I can. There we are, very difficult control. Here we come all the way forwards, third person view, looking like so. And I'm not too sure, do I want to have the legs retracted or opened up? I don't think it's going to matter. So here we come across, 3, 2, 1, straight into the asteroid, massive lag spike there. And there we are. So bring the sunlight back around so we get a good view of what's going on here. There we go, hopping out of this. And now I'm going to try and escape out of this thing by just destroying some of the blocks there. There we go. Come around towards the very front. And well, looks like a fair amount of damage has been dealt to this thing, and I'm surprised the game did not crash. So there we go, we see we lost the front, we lost quite a lot of the legs, a lot of the blocks on the legs. And there's not really too much remaining of the functional part of the ship. The railguns did survive, look at that, all the railguns survived for some unknown reason. So there is that. But yes, as for that, that's pretty much it for the XMA-01 Rafflesia V2. It's a fantastic looking ship, an absolute glorious ship with all the functionality of what it could do. I highly recommend downloading it, check it out yourself. So if you link to it in the description below, as well as links to Skybox currently using. I'll be back with another video some point soon. Bye bye.